Are you feeling neglected in your relationship? Are you feeling like your partner is unsupportive? They don't prioritize you and you're not getting enough time and attention from them? I am going to talk about how you can flip the script if you are in this kind of relationship. So, welcome. My name is Misty. I have been a health and life coach for women, coaching women on weight loss, getting their energy back, and feeling confident again since 2015. And this is a dynamic I see over and over in my clients, as well as I have been here. I have flipped the script, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that you need to be aware of, some of the things that's going on in your relationship, and how you can flip the script. So, among the women I work with, I see common themes of women who are in relationships that are not great. They are with partners that are unsupportive of their goals, unsupportive of their dreams. They are giving so much that they're repelling their partner. They're pushing their partner away, where their partner is not prioritizing them, not wanting to spend time and attention with them. So this recently came up I was connecting with a friend, and I've been a friend with this particular friend for a couple years. And this has been the dynamic of her relationship with her husband the entire time I've known them. She was a little disgruntled that her husband, he leaves the house, he doesn't tell her what he's doing, where he's going, when he'll be back. He plans his day off with anyone and everything, racking up his entire day, and she's never included in it. The last time I was over there, she was complaining about they were not having enough sex, or if they were, then he was just not into it, and it was just kind of like a drive-by, and she's just feeling really neglected in the relationship, and I can see what's going on. And we've connected before I've shared with my own marriage struggles, with my own husband's, now ex-husband's infidelity. And she's been there also, finding her husband having a secret dinner with a quote unquote friend. So there are a few things that we need to get straight. First of all, men are incredibly selfish. Men can be incredibly selfish. Actually, we as women could learn a few things from men. They are unapologetic about their goals. They are unapologetic about putting themselves first. However, men also can be very, very generous. And the side of him that you're getting could depend on you. Like, you have the potential to flip the script on this based on your actions and how you're operating in the relationship. So several years ago, when I was still married, this is about 5 or 6 years ago, I had a friend come to me. Now, as a weight loss coach, I was attracting a lot of women who wanted to help to lose weight, feeling more confident, get their energy back. And this particular friend was actually a friend of my ex-husband's. It was a female friend, and they went to high school together. They graduated together. And so she had seen him in all these different phases of his life. And they were spending a lot of time together when I was not around. So they were going on walks and going hiking, taking the kids with them, and while I was working. And so there was some conversations that were happening when I wasn't necessarily around. And she came to me and she says, "Misty, I just love the way he loves you." And it took me a minute to really reflect on what she meant by that. For one thing, this is my standard. This is my expectation. All my boyfriends treat me like this. All my boyfriends love me like this. And this is just how it is for me. And if your partner is not prioritizing you, he's probably prioritizing someone else. And I speak from experience. So men will go out of their way for the people they love, whether that be family, friends, or their partner. They will go above and beyond to do whatever they can to make them happy. That is part of a man's purpose. So a couple months ago, I got an unexpected random message on Facebook Messenger, and it was my very first boyfriend from high school. So we dated my entire senior year, and so we dated about a year, but I have not seen or heard from him in over 20 years. We had not talked, we had not connected, and he reaches out to me out of the blue. We're connecting. He says, "How are you?" And at first I was a little hesitant because obviously it's been 20 years, why now? And I knew of him because he still is in the neighborhood. He still lives like where my family lives. Like I have siblings that still live there. My mom and stepdad still live there. And so I had asked him, I said, "Did my family put you up to this?" Because I just finished a divorce in October and this was in December. And he says, "No, your family did not put me up to this. And I just saw that you changed your name back to your maiden name, and I wanted to reach out." So we're connecting and he invites me for a coffee. And again, I was a little hesitant because, first of all, he lives over an hour and a half from me. I moved away after high school, after college, and every time I move, I seem to move a little bit further and further away from where I grew up. And he still lives there. So I was like, "Are you really going to drive an hour, hour and a half to come have coffee with me?" So I kind of put it off. And he reaches back out a couple weeks later and says, "Hey, I'm going to be in your area. Would you want to meet for coffee?" And so I was like, "Okay, sure, we can meet for coffee." So we met up, and after we ordered, we're sitting there and he says, "Oh, by the way, I didn't have anything planned today. I just wanted to see you." And so I share this story to demonstrate this is what a man will do when you are a priority for him, and he will go above and beyond. And yes, this man, he drove over an hour away to have coffee with me. And this is an ex-boyfriend who I had not seen in over 20 years. And if I can get this kind of treatment from an ex-boyfriend, I promise you, you definitely should be getting this kind of treatment from someone you're married to, someone you live with, someone you're in a relationship with, someone you have children with. No matter what the dynamic of your relationship, if you are a priority for him, you will know it. So back to my friend who had said to me, "I just love the way he loves you." Well, she didn't know, or maybe she did, I don't know, but just a few years prior to that, my then husband was having an affair. He was texting another woman the entire time I was pregnant with our second baby. When I went through phone records, I found that he was texting someone else at 6 a.m. nearly every single day. And when I tell you, he didn't even text me at 6 a.m. ever. And so he went from texting another woman and spending a lot of his time and attention on another woman to, I flipped the script a few years later, he's joining me in the gym, taking me on lunch dates, taking me on a shopping spree, buying me flowers, paying for hair and nails, and to the point where other people were noticing, and a lot of women were really jealous of our relationship because they saw the way he treated me. But here's what I have to say. It's not him that changed. I didn't change him. It's me that changed. And when I changed me and I changed how I was showing up in the relationship, it flipped the script on our relationship. And I want to share with you what I did unconsciously. I didn't really know what I was doing, but since then I recognize how I was sabotaging the relationship and how I flipped it. So a lot of times, women, we are taught to give and give and give and give. But in a relationship, we are flipping the roles of the masculine feminine polarity, because in our biology, men are the givers and women are the receivers. It's always been a privilege to be in the company of a woman. It's always been the privilege. It's always been the ultimate privilege for a man to get married and have a wife. So I don't know when it flipped to where we think that men are the prize and we have to give, give, and give and prove ourselves, when actually it's the opposite. When you're giving, giving, giving and doing things for him, he no longer is in his purpose of giving, and you actually push him away. And so if you want to draw him back in, I'm going to share with you what the things I did to draw my now ex-husband back in at that time. So the first thing I did was, after I caught my husband cheating on me with another woman, the first thing I did was I gave him an out, and I offered for him to go. I offered for him to go be with her if that's what he wanted to do. And that's not what he wanted to do, but it put me in a power position of being willing to walk away. And you have to be willing to walk away from a man that's not treating you the way you should be treated. Because when you put up with whatever you're putting up with, he sees that and he keeps trying to push the boundary. He wants to know where the line is. What will you put up with? And by me being willing to walk away or let him go, it definitely put things into perspective, what he was about to lose, what was at stake. The second thing I did was I let him know what I was willing to tolerate and what I was not willing to tolerate. And I let him know that if anything like this ever happened again, there would be no turning back and things would be done. So when you are more of a pushover or a nice girl, a man will play that into that. They will push you and they will walk all over you. You have to be willing to put a stake in the ground of like, what I will tolerate and what I will not tolerate. And I will say, after this, he became on his best behavior. And he never violated that particular boundary ever again. And the next thing I did was, I think this is probably the most important. You don't have to walk away from your relationship to flip the script. This is the most important part, was I took the focus off of him and I stopped pouring so much of my time and energy into the relationship, and I put it on myself. I started eating better. I started working out. I started going shopping. I started dressing up. I started hanging out with friends, making new friends. And no longer was he the center of my universe. And This is when he started joining me in the gym. He started suggesting we have dates at the gym. He was taking me to lunch. He was taking me on shopping sprees. And all of a sudden, he realized what he was about to lose, first of all. And men value what they have to work for, and they like to invest in things that are valuable. If he's not investing in you, then he probably is investing in something else or someone else. And I speak from experience here. So I've for years and years and years, I've said this. You get to show people how to treat you. And this includes your partner. This includes friends, family. So if you are not treating yourself like the prize, like the queen you are, then likely no one else will either. And you get to treat yourself how you expect other people to treat you. So if you are always putting yourself last, I work with so many women that their children will be dressed to the nines, yet she hasn't bought herself a single article of clothing, a new pair of jeans or a new pair of shoes in 4 years. Why is it that we will do so much for everyone else, but we're not willing to do that for ourselves? You have to be willing to pour into yourself like you would expect someone else to. And when you do this, one of two things is going to happen. One, either he's going to do a 180 and he's going to start paying attention, and he is going to start investing in you. He is going to start paying more attention to you. Or if he doesn't start paying attention to you, this is when you get to decide, again, what are you willing to tolerate and what are you not willing to tolerate? And possibly you leave him and you find someone else who's willing to put in the energy, put in the investment of having you and taking care of you.